Yeah, and the great leaders know the difference between responsibilities and importance.
Yeah,
And the reason I say that is as you go up, you think you're more important. There's a risk that you're going to think you're more important than everyone else.
right,
But the reason you're getting paid more is your responsibilities, not your importance. Yes, there's more people coming to you and asking for approvals, and yes, you need to be involved with more. But the risk then, and I'm sure you've seen this, is if you start thinking you're more important than everyone else, you start thinking your ideas are better than everyone else's. And my ideas are better. And I'm just looking for people to confirm those ideas I already have, as opposed to looking for the best solution.
welcome to the Sharpen the Spear podcast, where we help home service pros cut through the noise, sharpen their business tools, and reclaim the profit, freedom, and impact they've been missing. I'm your host, Richard Walsh, Profit Freedom Coach, and I'm here to help you stop grinding and start growing. Let's sharpen the spear. And we are back on STS, Sharpen the Spear podcast, with another incredible guest. I've got Chris Sprague with us today. And I'm not going to tell you what he's going to talk about. I'll just get right to it. Chris, no one knows Chris like Chris. So, Chris, give us that backstory, bring us up to speed, and we're going to get into the conversation.
Absolutely. No, thanks, Richard. And thanks for having me. I know that podcasts, much like writing a book, are a labor of love.
Yes.
So, um, I've been fortunate for multiple decades to lead transformations in Fortune 100 companies. And what I've found in doing that is the groups, the organizations, the teams that really outperform everyone else are the ones that people willingly and happily work hard and are inspired to bring their best every single day. So that was really the basis for our book, Lead Without Limits, and also starting the Enluma Leadership Company, which we founded this year. And now it's the focus on how can we help our clients achieve incredible results. And in some ways, it may be counterintuitive because the focus is on healthy and sustainable leadership. As we think about the classic definition of those hardcore, tough leaders that we see, unfortunately, all too often in the business world, they're actually encouraging and enabling mediocrity.
Mm-hmm.
And I can give you an example. You can think about, say, a project isn't going well, and a project manager has to provide an update to a senior leader. Situation one, the project manager comes in and says, Richard, I hate to tell you this, but we're behind 3 months and we're over budget by $200,000. Leader one slams their fist on the table and says, this is unacceptable. This is not how we do things. You need to fix this, and this better be corrected in a month. So, what happens then is that project manager is going to do whatever they can to make sure in the next month that everything is green. And whether those issues are fixed or not, they're going to make sure that everything looks good the next month. But I would argue that when the leader's slamming their fist on the table and they're saying, this isn't good enough, they're also saying, I don't believe you. I don't really care what you said. And quite frankly, I'm not going to help you. You have to fix it. Now, I've been fortunate to see some really strong leaders. Well, they'll say, okay, project manager, you know what? Nobody's happy about this. But do we know what's going on? Have you done a debrief and a deep dive into this to figure this out? And come back, let's talk in a week, and let's have a very clear action plan how we can fix this. Now, the second approach, now it's not just caving to the person. It's not saying, hey, oh, no, it's fine that we're terrible. It's still holding the person accountable. It's pointing a direction forward. And it's also saying, you know what, Richard? Yeah, we're behind, but I'm going to help. We're all in this together and we're going to fix this together. And what's interesting in that case is instead of trying to manipulate or control someone through fear, you motivate them so they'll say, hey, you know what? Richard was very fair, but he said we need to fix this. I'm going to fix it not because I have to, but because I want to, and I don't want to let that leader down. And that's a magical place to be. Because if you can achieve that, if you maintain your composure in those difficult situations, because that's ultimately what we're talking about here, right? Um, when you have a good situation, when things are going well, you don't need strong leadership. It's when the proverbial hits the fan
Yep.
and things are behind, that's when you need strong leadership to keep the team calm, the organization calm, focused and moving forward. Um, I'm sure you've seen leaders where it's perfectly good, everything's fine, and they're losing their mind.
Yep.
And then you think, oh, good Lord, I want nothing to do with that leader if things go south.
Yeah, I've seen that, Chris. I've seen, like you said, they're not they're not a good leader
No,
at all,
no.
good or bad. And you're in the good, like you said, and you see them flying off and doing this and trying to control and everything else. And then, yeah, when things get bad, it just gets really ugly.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
they just crumble and they it what usually what I in my experience has always been it goes to blame.
100%.
Okay. And they're
100%.
just whacking this guy and that guy and this guy and it's all theirs. And it's like I am 100% the opposite myself. It all starts with me.
Yeah,
So I just it's that full responsibility, right? That ownership.
100%.
You just have to have
Yep.
it. And it's my guys when I had my guys working for me, same thing like let's fix the problem. I don't
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah.
it's done, something broke, whatever. Well, how fast can we fix it?
Yeah.
Like let's what does it take? What do you need? What should I be
Yeah.
getting? Whatever. It's the same principle, right? So I really like that approach. And I don't get so maybe you can flesh this out for me here. So you
Yeah.
get these guys who are these really crappy leaders.
Yeah.
Like you said, bad in the good times and extremely bad in the bad times.
Bad times.
Like how do they have a position in leadership? I have an answer. I want to hear your
Yeah.
answers.
I think one of the challenges, and this is actually one of the things we're working on in our company, is the people who get promoted and get put in positions of leadership commonly get there because they manage up really well.
Mm,
They they have that aesthetic where, oh, everything's under control, or I'm being really tough. But if you were to talk to their peers, if you were to talk to their direct reports, it's a very different story. And it's unfortunate, but I've seen that all too often. Um, and it's that managing up that really can put on a show that it's a house of cards if you push it
okay.
even further.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's just a facade
100%.
for upper management.
Correct.
There's just a there. Yeah, okay. Like I agree with that. Okay, 100%. But I also think too, the problem is the uppers can't see through that nonsense.
You're
I don't
correct.
know.
You're
That's what I
correct.
mean. It's like it's disappointing all the way to the top.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It got and that's the thing. It's like no one sees through this. And like so you kind of got. Are they doing the same thing to the ones above them? It seems like the chain of command.
Yeah.
They're all in that upward direction. Meanwhile, as they say, it all rolls downhill,
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
and your last frontline guys are catching all the trash. You know what I mean?
You know, and I think there's a couple challenges that we need to overcome. And one is when we think about a leader, a lot of people will think of the classic definition of a people leader, right? It's I have direct reports, I'm leading them. But one of the things we call out in our book is no, you need to think about it a little bit differently. First is we talk about foundational leadership, which is how do you lead yourself and your peers? Because that's the foundation that everybody has to work on. That gets into, and I know it's not new concepts, but emotional intelligence, self-compassion, self-perception. How do you treat and think about yourself will directly correlate to how you treat your peers. But then the next step up, people leadership. Okay, now I've got five, eight people who I have the opportunity to lead who are reporting into me. The interesting thing is you're still also a foundational leader because you still have peers. And then finally, the third layer of leadership that we talk about is organizational leadership, where you've got multiple levels of people reporting into you until you get to the people who are making the donuts every day.
Right.
And but you still have peers, you still have direct reports. And the reason we're taking this different approach was exactly like you're talking about. When I had the opportunity to lead large organizations, I would do informationals, I would interview supervisors and managers. And it became very clear that they thought they weren't leaders because their title didn't say they were leaders.
Right.
But what's interesting in part of the research for the book, we asked people, when you think about your personal definition of leadership, which of the four resonate with you? And it was senior leaders, VPs, a manager, a supervisor, a very knowledgeable expert, or D, anyone including yourself. D got 80% of the votes. So a more modern definition of leadership is anyone, including yourself. And it all starts with how you think about yourself and how you work with your peers. Because what's interesting as well is the higher you go up in an organization, it is crazy how often senior leaders don't play nice in the sandbox with their peers.
Yeah.
And, but they don't think about what message that sends to all the people in the organization.
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's top down. Everything is
It is
top down.
100%.
I see it in fast food restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's the owner? This is a mess. I blame the owner.
Yeah.
Because I kind of make fun of it. Okay, my kids have all worked at these places and everything else.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have you have high school kids, first job, okay,
Yep.
entry level. Then you have seniors looking for
Yep.
something to do and chat with people. Don't really care to bring it or not. And then you got middle aged managers screaming at both. Nothing's
Yeah.
getting done right. They have no way. They're not. They don't have any leadership skills at all.
Yeah.
They're just 45 and
Yeah.
they're in between everybody else and they've worked somewhere else. And you watch it and you're like, but this is the model.
Yeah.
This is the model across the board, but I still see the owner and I'm like, well, you're not doing this. I mean, I can stand there and go, well, I can pick out things that can improve, but you just look at the owner, they're not there. They're absent. Right. And it doesn't
And
mean you have to be there all the time.
no.
No one's taking that responsibility, down to the GM,
Yeah.
to the,
Yeah.
and down the whole trail. So it's interesting.
Yeah. And you can tell the organizations that where the owner, the GM are involved and they're supporting their people. Because ironically, the organizations where the people are supported really well are the ones that have the best customer service.
Yep. I'll give you a great example. So Culver's, right?
Yeah. Oh
Fast
yeah,
food.
yeah.
We got one
Absolutely.
here. We got one here in Beloit. They had a general manager, okay, who was there for years. The employee, kids that would die for that guy. That's how
Yeah.
well he led. I
Yeah.
mean, they do anything for him, right? That place, out of 700 and some stores, they were like top seven.
I believe it.
Okay, like in service, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he finally got his own store, which means he could own one.
Yeah.
So he left, and they slid the net.
And it just wasn't
they're
as good.
they're at like 707 now.
That's yeah.
That kind of drop. I mean, it's like it's embarrassing. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
well, it goes right to your thing. The right leader. Okay,
Yeah.
it's a game changer.
Yeah. And the great leaders know the difference between responsibilities and importance.
Yeah,
And the reason I say that is as you go up, you think you're more important. There's a risk that you're going to think you're more important than everyone else.
right.
But the reason you're getting paid more is your responsibilities, not your importance. Yes, there's more people coming to you and asking for approvals, and yes, you need to be involved with more. But the risk then, and I'm sure you've seen this, is if you start thinking you're more important than everyone else, you start thinking your ideas are better than everyone else's. And my ideas are better. And I'm just looking for people to confirm those ideas I already have, as opposed to looking for the best solution. And the people will see it, and then they're going to start playing a game of, well, we know what Richard wants. Let's just make sure he wants this, and then that'll help us in our performance review, as opposed to saying, hey, this is the best thing to do. This is our best option. Because those leaders that maintain humility and understand importance is really situational, those are the ones that can be incredible leaders. And I bet the Culver's general manager was like that, if I had to
Yeah,
guess.
yep, yeah. It's you know, to me, the great leaders are always making more leaders.
100% yes.
That has to be their intention,
Yeah.
because otherwise everything is on you, and
Hmm.
it's not that you stifle growth, the growth of a company or anything, but like you're not. It's like giving back.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like taking this, if you're actually really good,
Yeah.
okay, not in a conceited way, but like you know, not just because you think so,
Yeah.
because you literally are,
Absolutely.
you're top 10 in the whole chain.
Yep.
Okay. Like, dude, you need to get these other guys schooled up. And it
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's going to be in that business or somewhere else. I have a
No.
big thing about that, Chris. Like, I have a saying, it's called everybody leaves. Okay. So anyone who works, they're going to leave. It could be
Yeah.
in five
Yeah.
years, could be in 20 years, could be, I've had people leave on their first break and never come back. Okay. So it's just, it happens, right? But
Yeah.
if we're training people properly, showing them we
Yeah.
care about, make them leaders, they're going to leave because there's going to be a ceiling at most places
Correct.
and they need to go. And I want them to go be everything they can be. But I also, this is being a little bit, egotistical. I want to kind of get some credit for training this guy to be a great leader at the
Yeah.
next place he goes. I want to say,
Yeah.
man, who taught you? Oh, that was Richard at this place, you know? And I'm like, yeah, but I want them to be encouraged. Like, you get these skills, man, you can go anywhere
Yeah.
because
And
you probably can't stay here.
no, and two things with that. One is we've all probably gotten awards in our career, but if you're able to help someone grow and develop, with the awards, I couldn't tell you what I spent awards on. But if you're asking me to identify 5 people I've helped grow and develop, I could name 5 people right now.
Yep.
The other piece that leaders, particularly senior leaders, need to think about is what happens after they leave. Does the organization fall apart?
Mm-hmm.
Because I was always of the opinion, if I have the opportunity to lead a large organization, my goal is to work myself out of a job. Because great leaders are ones where you leave and everything just keeps humming along. Those ones where they leave, they change jobs, retire, or whatever, and the organization falls apart, you basically made that organization completely dependent upon you.
That's right. That's right.
And shame on you for doing that because you handicapped them long term.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting, Chris. We talk a lot about systems and process, right? To
Yep.
create a self-running business.
Yeah.
This is another kind of missing piece, though. I can have all the systems. Matter of fact, back in the day, McDonald's, master of systems,
Yeah.
right? Everything is
Yeah.
systemized, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know what they couldn't do? Get the people to work in the systems. Okay. That was their story. They're like looking for like we can't get them to do it, right? Because they had no leadership.
Yeah.
They had no people who could really do that. And that's really the missing link. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to have the systems, got to have process, all that good stuff. That's easier than having quality leadership who can
Yeah.
send it down the line, right? Lifting everyone up, training more
Yep.
leaders, getting the thing to function the way it should is way bigger challenge than having good systems.
And there may be a leader out there who's listening to this and saying, well, why do I need to care about this? Um, what's interesting is, and a bit of a tangent here, but global birth rates have been going down for decades. So in most industrialized countries, the birth rates per family unit are less than 2. Which means
America is 1.6. We were
exactly.
2.2.
It's crazy.
We're 1.6 now. So I know
Yeah.
exactly where you're going. Keep going.
Yeah, because the workforce is shrinking. And what's interesting is a few years ago, so Gen Z now makes up the fastest growing portion of the workforce, and their priorities are different. And their priorities should be different because, if you take a baby boomer, they're close to retirement, they're thinking about retirement, as they should. A Gen Z just coming out of college, they may have college debt, they may have to live with their parents. So it was interesting. In 2023, Live Career surveyed 1,200 people, Gen Zs. 95% said that they wanted to do a meaningful job that goes beyond just making ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting is 71% of Gen Z workers would even take a pay cut if their work had more meaning.
Yep.
So when we think about leadership and the impact, the younger generations are not going to put up with the old school command and control. They're going to leave. If there's no meaning behind their work, if they feel like they're just coming in and same thing every day, that's not gonna, and it's industry agnostic.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a thing. I go, it's purpose, recognition, quality pay in that
Yeah.
order. They've got to work for purpose. We do a lot when I work with the companies I work with on strategic vision.
Yeah.
We really build out a detailed vision on where the company is going in the next 18 to 24 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Yep.
everyone who comes in knows exactly where they fit in this journey. It's like an internal document. They know the
Yeah.
stories, they know why, they know why if they're not there, they know what happens. I don't mean
Yep.
consequence, I mean like the whole vision doesn't get achieved, right?
Yep.
And when people are let
Yep.
go, they're let go because they can't fulfill the strategic vision. They may be incompetent, but
Yeah.
that's not the reason. It's like, dude, we got a vision to fulfill, and when we get there, we're going to write another one and we're going to go for that. And then everyone knows where it's at. So you're exactly right. It's just like they want to know why, but they really need to understand the purpose. And
Yeah.
quality pay
Yeah.
being third or even fourth, people don't leave because of money.
Yeah.
They'll
Typically
tell
not.
you, they'll tell you they're leaving because of money. That's because they're lying. Okay.
Well,
They're
yeah.
not,
Yeah.
because they're going to go, they might go get more money, but they're not going to tell you, well, this place sucks. They're just probably, well, they might.
Yeah.
Okay. Some
Yeah.
will, but I'm just saying that most of them that's an easy thing. I got to get paid more,
Yeah.
and even if
Yeah.
you match it, they still leave. Okay. Because it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, right? Because they're not driven by the money.
No.
They're
No.
just, most people are not. Very few people are driven only by the money.
Yeah. And if people can see, one of the things we work with our clients similarly is, building out that 3-year vision, because that is so key. And it depends on the client. They may want to do 2 years instead of three, but the broader organization needs to know where they're going in the future.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to be meaningful, it has to be aspirational. But then something magical happens is if people know where the organization's going, then they raise their hand and say, "Hey, I've got an idea. I'd like to do this to help the vision." Or I'd like to work on my development and it will also help the vision. Unfortunately, if people don't know where the organization's going, it's usually they come up with their own stories.
Mm-hmm.
Um, when I had the opportunity to lead a call center a few years ago where we interacted with patients and we started doing forecasting. So we were looking out 12 months ahead and our forecast said that our volumes were going through the roof. And so we were actually looking for a second space because we needed another probably space for 100, 150 people. And I kid you not, the same day in the morning, I'm looking at opportunity spaces for 100, 150 people. Later that same day, I happened to be doing a one-on-one with our team members, and I was trying to do a one-on-one with everybody. And at the end of the one-on-one, I say to the team member, "All right, the door's shut. You can ask me anything you want." And he says to me, "Chris, why are we closing down the call center?" And then it hit me. We had not communicated out the potential growth. We had not communicated out this future. And so what was happening is they were creating their own stories.
Nope.
And a lot of times think conspiracy theories because that's what they're going to come up with.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when a leadership team goes on a 2-day offsite and doesn't tell people what they're doing, everyone assumes, well, they're cutting costs and we're all going to be laid off. No, actually, maybe they're building their vision, they're working on their strategy, but that communication piece is so critical with the broader organization.
When we do our strategic visions, I mean, they're detailed, right? 10 to 14, 15 pages, right?
Yeah.
And really cool. And we roll it out to the company. Everyone said they got a copy,
Yeah.
they got a highlighter.
That's
We read it
fantastic.
to them. They highlight their position where they're at, they look at that. And I'm telling you, and you wouldn't believe this unless you were in the room. Like there's people like getting emotional
Oh,
and
I bet.
crying
I bet.
because they're like, well, this is what we want.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
want to know where this is. Like I can't just come
Yeah.
here and punch in, punch
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Sit in my car until it's 1 minute to 6, then come in and punch in because I hate being here. I watched just for a sidebar. We have a huge Amazon distribution center here in
Yeah.
LA, and I have to drive on that road going home. I'm kind of out in the country, and if you're there when they're getting out,
Oh, it's a mass exodus.
two hands on the wheel, dude. Make sure you're buckled. They are tearing out of there like 50. Don't care if you're coming. They're gonna
Yeah.
T-bone you. They're
Yeah.
just they can't get out of there fast enough.
Yeah.
And in the morning when I'm going to the gym to work out and they're blowing through stop signs because they're all late because they don't want to be there. So you just seem like, I'm like, this has become like the most dangerous place in all of Beloit is the
That's
Amazon
funny. That's
distribution,
really funny.
during the high, clocking in, clocking out. But it's just, you see that, and I haven't been in there, and you hear stories, and I don't even care.
Yeah.
I'm judging them by the way, when they
Oh yeah.
get there and how they get there and how fast they're getting out of there. No
Yeah.
one's hanging out. It's like, I always use this for like churches. Okay. So
Yeah.
churches, a good church, one of the ways you determine if it's good is people hang out after.
Correct.
They don't just run out, shut off the lights, and go to
Yeah.
lunch.
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
hanging out, talking and stuff. It's similar in a workplace.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when you have people working for that real purpose, they want to go to work,
Correct.
and they'll stay if they have to. No one has to, but you
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? They'll
Yeah.
put in
Yeah.
the time. And like you said, those same cultures, when you understand that, are going to be open to innovation.
Yep.
They're going to bring it. They understand that these guys, I'm making them experts at their
Yeah.
position. I've
Yeah.
even built it out for companies. They have multiple levels inside. There's time, there's
Mm.
qualifications. You move up in levels inside your
Yeah.
position. You just
Yep.
earn more, you get more authority. Then once you get to level 4, then you can be promoted to a different position or whatever that
Yeah.
is. But
Yeah.
it doesn't just train them to be more competent in the position. It makes them
Yeah.
better people,
Yeah.
right? So for me, they take that home.
Yeah.
That influences their family, their
Absolutely.
families in the community. So now, like I always say, I'm going to help 10,000 business owners, create profit, freedom, and impact. Now I've gone that to millions because again, their people go home.
Yep.
And it's really cool. And if businesses get that, and this isn't, and I am no foo-foo guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not all, warm and fuzzy kind of guy,
Yeah.
but I understand the need for this as a human being.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
create it and man, they're getting skilled up. They're becoming better people. They get along
Yep.
better. They have a better home life.
Yep.
They're going to perform better at work, right? They're not bringing that drama here to work. I mean, you could go on forever, but it's like,
Yeah.
this goes to what you're saying. Leadership has to convey the vision,
Correct.
continuously. Like once a month,
Yep.
everyone's brought like, where are we at? How are we doing on yours? Here's yours. Where are we at? Are we hung up?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
we all still working for this? Are we all driving in the same direction? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really, really rewarding when you get to that level.
And then the other piece we add to that, and Richard, you may do the same, is okay, this is where we want to go, but then what's our culture that's going to help us to get there?
Mhm.
The expectations, how you operate day by day, expectations on how we interact with each other, and that should then enable that future vision. But it goes back to what we were talking about. It has to be modeled by the leadership team.
Yeah.
And it has to be clear enough where people know what you're supposed to do. I had the opportunity to work with a company a few years ago, and one of their cultural attributes was clear and courageous. And I kid you not, I heard some people say truly terrible things. And they'd say, in the spirit of clear and courageous. And it's like the equivalent of bless their heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my guess is the leadership team didn't intend that, but you have to have a little bit more detail so people know that there's positive intent about it. You're challenging each other. And it's not just you use it however you want and potentially do something truly terrible and it's justified.
Well, it reminds me of, the old proverbial mission statement on the wall.
Yeah.
I used to tell people that serves only one person, and that's the owner and their
Mm.
ego. This means that it's wallpaper.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
we want to be the best and blah, blah, blah. We're going to be this. And it's like, so
Yeah.
who cares? like who cares? Like really, like, well, what does that do for me?
Yeah.
That's just, that's one guy came up with this and he put it on the wall. And I literally, Chris, have been in businesses. If those are on the wall, I take them off and throw them in the trash can. And I say, we're not doing this. Okay. We're going to show you something new. And we go
Yeah.
with the vision thing, right? I said, because again, people can't really grab onto that. A
No.
mission is a
No.
subset of a vision,
Agreed. Yes.
right?
Correct.
So you
Yeah.
might have all kinds of little missions going on, right?
Yeah.
If we're at war, we don't have one mission. We got missions happening all over the place, right? We got
Yeah.
battles to win. We got places
Yeah.
to go and do. We got to accomplish this stuff. And it takes multiple leaders to get that kind of work done who can still communicate,
Yeah.
right? And coordinate and everything else. So you're right. The culture is kind of a big thing, Chris, because people get a little too, what's the word? they get a little too out there with the culture, like almost like they want to control the culture. Like
Yeah,
they put all this stuff in, you got to do all these little things so we have a good culture. And I don't just, to me, that's not it.
yeah,
It
yeah.
isn't you check all the boxes and I did all the right things and said the right things. And now we have a good culture, So kind of elaborate on that a bit. What kind of your viewpoint on culture itself?
It's funny because there's some companies that will say, we want to be the best place to work. I'm sure you hear that all the time. The challenge with that is then if you survey 20 people in that company what the best place to work is, you're going to get 20 different answers.
Yeah.
We have my son is going to probably join the workforce next year, Gen Z, and he would probably say, "Is there free lunches and a workout room? That's going to be the
Yeah.
best place to work."
Hmm.
But that's not going to apply to everybody. So it has to enable the vision, and you can't build them separately. They have to be built together. So companies that build their vision and their culture together are more likely to exceed their sales targets.
Right.
Because you know what happens a lot of times is there'll be the strategic imperatives that we're working on this year, and oh yeah, we built the culture a few years ago, but they have to work together. They have to enable each other because then it's truly a catalyst for success. And one of the things in the book, we did research in 2023, and our focus was if I'm inspired, if my performance is elevated, I'm more likely to work hard and I'm more likely to be happy doing it.
Hmm.
And from a culture perspective, so we surveyed over 400 people, and one of the surprises was they commonly talked about the collective success of the organization or the team, this we before me approach. And it's interesting because if you have the opportunity to lead a team of direct reports, we give feedback on individuals. Our performance reviews are individuals. But very rarely, and I think of when I led people, I was probably guilty of this. I didn't say, okay, let's step back and what can be achieved if you all work really well together. We say, okay, if you each individually do great things, that's great. But far often we don't say, what could we do well or what could we achieve if everyone worked well together? And similarly, you can take the same approach when you look at your peers. Because a lot of times what happens is, oh, I got to go talk to Richard. I need this done, and Richard needs to do this. You don't think about, well, if Richard and I worked really well together, we could actually knock that goal out of the park, or we could do this that we haven't thought of. But a lot of times it's, we're dopamine addicts. We've got our to-do
Hmm.
list. We got to knock those things off our to-do lists, and we have to get those things done. But we don't think about, collectively, we could do some really incredible things. And even just to take some time to do that. One of the things I like to do is challenge our clients to say, okay, how often are you doing firefighting? And they'll say, oh, it's all the time. I said, can you find an hour a week? Yeah, 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 I can probably find an hour a week. Okay. I said, okay, hour a week. Think about where you are strategically, how things are going, and what you could do better. An hour a week. And you pick the hour. It could be Mondays, Sundays, Fridays, whatever you want to do. So it's how do we, the challenge is there's so many companies that are just consumed with firefighting, consumed with the last
Hmm.
minute stuff that they'll say, I don't have time to build a culture. They'll say, I don't have time to build a vision. But then it ends up like they're on a road trip without a destination.
Hmm.
They're driving and spending all this energy and God knows where they're gonna end up. So
Yeah.
that's where the intentionality, and this doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to chew up weeks and weeks to build something. It's just focus your time and really dig in, define where you want to go. To inspire an organization, we say you need two things. You need to define where they're going, that future destination, and the enabling culture to get there. And if you can do that and then truly live that, because it can't just be like you said, you put this on a piece of paper, put it up on the wall, and we're good. No,
Yeah.
this has to be how you are. Has to be how you operate going forward.
Yeah. I think, I talked a lot about the firefighting stuff and I call it the tactical, the everyday. I said one of the problems is they put the fire out, but they don't go figure out why the fire started in the first place. So
It's true.
they have to build the system to prevent that. If they'll take that time,
Yeah. Yeah.
designate a team.
Yeah.
Okay, let's figure this out. Oh, it's 3 steps back. This happened.
Yeah.
And every time this happens, the fire starts.
Yeah.
3 steps later, let's fix that. Fire's gone. Won't
Yeah.
flare up next month. Right. And we had that approach. Pretty soon you pretty much got all fires contained and never happening again. And but you create, here's another difficulty in the leadership aspect and what you're talking about, the culture. You have to create a culture of problem solvers. Like
Correct.
you have to enable
Correct.
them. Like we have
Correct.
to solve this. Like I'll give you an example. One of my clients, they do all this high-end woodwork and everything else, and they're cranking out vanities and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
If a saw breaks, these kids just sit down and look at the saw
Yeah.
like for 30 minutes.
Oh,
And
geez.
then they walk into the office of the owner and go, the saw is broken.
Okay.
And he
Like,
comes out and he goes, okay, we do this, this, this. And he goes, I get it fixed. I get going. I got to go back. It's such a distraction. I go, you want to fix it? I can fix it right now. We're on the phone.
yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I go, okay. What's the troubleshooting process? Put it step by step, piece of paper, laminate it all the way down to calling the company, submitting
Yeah.
pictures,
Yeah. Yeah.
get
Yeah.
them on the horn, and say, next time the
Yeah.
saw breaks, go through these steps. And I promise you, if you come in my office before you've done this, you won't be happy.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what? They just went through the steps and fixed the saw, and
Yeah.
so it took them 10 minutes to fix something, right? And now they're problem solvers. Now the next thing, I go, just put the troubleshooting on there, teach them how to go through it. There's fixing the problem
Yeah.
permanently,
Yeah.
right? We have to do that kind of, it's just, but it's sometimes as owners, you're inundated, right? You're inundated with all this,
Absolutely.
you're on this stuff, and you can't get to that level to look down. You can't get to the 10,000
Yeah.
foot view like you're talking about. But if you don't create the problem solving mentality, I'm telling you, it is so lacking. The younger generations, like because they haven't been really taught, their critical thought process isn't
Yeah.
really honed well. So
Mhm.
they can't really diagnose well. You can train them to do it. It's
Yeah.
not like they're stupid. Okay.
Yeah.
They haven't been taught that. It's kind of the world's kind of pinned against them, like
Yeah.
school and stuff like that. So they don't get exposed to that. But I know you can turn that very quickly if that's your focus.
Yeah. It, I've also seen that sometimes the same leaders that complain about their people not think problem solving, not doing things are the ones that secretly want to keep the control because they're the solution
Yeah.
providers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it's
We're-
that
Get rid of those people.
well, I think you also run the risk if there's constant firefighting, then and you reward people for firefighting, people start creating fires.
Exactly. You got a shop full of arsonists,
Yeah.
So yeah,
And then that's what they're doing, and because they want to get rewarded.
it's like enabling,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
it's so interesting to say that, Chris, because you're like, there's no way that can't be true. It's
Oh, it's
true.
true. It's true.
You must not be around people enough.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
you need to be around people and see how this actually plays out, because it does. People, it's. I was doing a big world-class exhibit, and we had a superintendent who was like formerly like a laborer. He got promoted to be the superintendent, and
Yeah.
we'd have words all this. And here's his thing, man. I just go along to get along,
Oh, geez.
and I'm like, and I'm just like, and I'm looking. I'm like, dude, well, we're never going to get along. You and I. I mean, by the end of the project, we're in the center of the whole place, and I'm giving them first shot. You take the first shot.
Yeah.
We're gonna end this. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like I was so like frustrated with this, don't care and just create more problems, do things wrong 2 times till someone who knows what they're doing. It's that kind of thing, but it's just everywhere. It's
It is. It is.
pervasive because again, I'm gonna go back to leadership at the
Yep.
top. Is not taking this bull by the horns and going, what's the real solution? What's the permanent solution here? And you've nailed all the things. Right? It's culture, it's problem solving, it's all of this stuff. There's so many components to it that I think have gotten so far away, so distant. And I don't know. I mean, let's get your thoughts on this. Like, so right now there's 5 generations working together.
Yes.
Okay, that's nuts. Okay, that's
It
like
is.
never happened. Okay, so like I think it's got so spread, like no one addressed like each generation. Okay, because one time it was boomers, And then you
Yeah.
got, whatever Gen X, that's me, I
Yep.
think. And then you
Yep.
got your millennials, and no one, everyone just kept doing it the first way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that kept, now you're outnumbered. Okay. You're just
Yeah.
totally outnumbered. You got five different ways you got to do things, and no one's addressed it. And I think that's what compounded the issues.
Yeah. I don't, I've seen great employees that were millennials, and I've seen great employees that were baby boomers, and I've seen bad from both. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. And to me, I think it goes back to how people were raised.
Yeah.
If, how they were brought up. Um, but yeah, it is amazing what cell phones have done to our
Mhm.
attention spans. Uh, and, the data around anxiety and depression in kids
Yeah.
has spiked. What was it, 2007, 2008? But, that's, it, I can't believe I'm saying this. It's a competitive advantage if you can speak well with people.
Right.
And it's almost to the point, my wife and I, we go to a fair number of concerts. I can't tell you the number of people that need to walk by us and they just kind of point and go. And it's irrespective of generation. I'm like, I'm right here. All you have to do is say, "Excuse me, I'd like
Yeah.
to get over there," but they just kind of point and go. And
Yeah.
so along those lines, we got to figure out with technology how we can still make sure we're communicating, because it actually discourages and prevents us from really communicating and connecting.
Yeah. I think, well, we've nicknamed them the one-handed workers because one hand they got a phone and the other one they're doing something. Okay. So we call them
True,
one-handed
true.
workers, and so I call my kids that all the time. Hey, one-handed worker, you want to get over here? Because they're looking at their thing, and I'm like, put
Yeah.
that thing down. But like I said, I think you're right. It's the communication aspect. No one addressed it, is what I'm saying. And then all of a sudden you're stacking up and going back to the birth rate thing.
Yeah.
This is the world.
Yeah. It is.
Okay. I mean,
It is.
Japan's done, right? They don't even make cars there anymore because they
Yeah.
don't have a workforce.
Right.
China, China's doomed. They'll never recover from the one child policy. They,
Yeah.
I mean, they've done them, but there's no recovery from
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Pretty soon
even
they're
with,
not going to
and
workforce.
South Korea is like
Uh
0.7.
huh.
It's
Yep.
crazy.
Italy,
Yeah.
Germany,
Yeah.
same thing. There'll be no more Italians in like 40 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Albania, okay, the
Yeah.
language will be gone completely. The Albanian language and stuff. So I mean,
That's
because
insane.
it's fascinating, but it's like now you're seeing AI come in, and you got all these technological advances, intelligence, and everything else, but you're still going to have people in here, right? So right now, people are trying to figure out the advantages. How do I work this in? That's what I'm doing
Yeah.
with all my
Yeah.
clients. People
Yeah.
like, you got like trades guys and construction guys who go, yeah, this is a serious advantage for them. I go, AI doesn't need to sweat pipe.
No.
It needs to run the business.
Right.
These guys can do more work so they can
Yeah.
prepare to scale. I go, that's what it's for, because
Yep.
they're horrible at that. They're
Yep.
horrible at the business part, just like I was. I could make a ton of money, but I was horrible at the business part. That's what caused the collapse. But, so I'm like, well, if I had someone doing that,
Yeah.
a thing like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm free to go out and make more. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So it's just really interesting because a lot of people have these different viewpoints on this stuff. But going back into who's on the team and who's leading them, who's integrating this stuff,
Yeah.
right? Because like you're talking about the Gen Z, Gen Alpha, right? Like these guys have skills in that arena. That's
Mhm.
second nature to them because they're one-handed workers,
Yeah.
right? They spend so much time on that industry and everything else. Like they can, they're like, no, move them over. We have
Yeah.
guys here that we're starting a big construction company we have here. And we were talking about modernizing everything else, and they've got masonry, right? You're building bricks
Yeah.
and build
Yeah.
buildings.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
they have robots now that do that,
No
right?
kidding.
And everyone's like, oh, I go, wait a minute. I go, listen, and we had some kids there and stuff. We're talking about workforce development. I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
have you seen a 50-year-old mason? You ever see him walk? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Not
beat
well.
up. Okay.
They are
No
beat up.
one wants to do that job.
Right.
But if you get to have a screwdriver and you're monitoring the robot, and it's still love when you go out and you tweak this, that's a
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
legit. There's guys who want that, but we have to embrace that stuff. I use the Marine
Yeah.
Corps. Yes, I want a mechanical animal to carry my gear. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever had 130 on your back for 10 miles, but it's unpleasant. Okay.
I would imagine. Yes.
And if I got a metal dog that can do it, let's go.
Yeah.
Load them up.
Absolutely.
Can I ride? You know, it's like I get it. Like I think there was a point where I was kind of not that.
Hmm.
I was, AI was Terminator. That's all I
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah.
The world's going to be over. And now I'm like the biggest advocate
Yeah.
because now I've been able to apply it in
Yep.
all the business I work with, and it's a game changer. It's awesome.
Yeah. And we're actually partnering with a company, Axio AI, out in Tempe, Arizona. So in our book, we have 360 models around how do you inspire your peers, direct reports, and organization. We're taking that combined with they have AI coaching. So what you do is you take the assessments and then it'll say, okay, Richard, here's your three lowest scores. Which one of these do you want to work on the next 3 months? And it's all dialogue based, it's discussion based. Because I realized in particular with small businesses, they don't have the money for learning and development,
That's right.
but they have the desire. And if we can reach out to more small businesses and help them to grow and develop, that would be a wonderful opportunity.
Well, Chris, this is what I'm talking about. I'm doing. It
Yeah.
levels the playing field.
Yep.
AI does. Like you
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and I'm showing my client, they're like, oh my God. They're like, I go, dude, buckle up, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Absolutely.
gonna show, I mean, you're gonna be saving money, you're gonna be increasing your
Yep.
profits, you're gonna be
Yep.
competing on a much higher level, because we're preparing to scale,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of guys who aren't going to get into this early like this and develop it, okay, the durable trades, right? They're not going away.
Mhm.
AI is not going to replace them.
No.
For other jobs, they may, right? There's
Yeah,
a
they
lot of
may.
stuff that'll be replaced, but but it doesn't matter if you're not prepared to take new ground.
Mm.
If you still have to only build 10 houses a year, you can't grow,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we can enable you to be able to take ground comfortably, the blue collar is the new white collar. They're going to be
Yeah.
the new wealthy and they're going to
Yeah.
grow. So we're prepping for that in
Yeah.
the next few years. That's our focus. Like, I'm going to get all this stuff dialed in back here so you can go out and do what you do best and kill it. Where other guys are going to be left behind, they'll never catch up.
And with people who are apprehensive with AI, the question I ask them is, have you ever used your cruise control in your car? And they'll say, yeah, I've used it. And I said, think about AI like a cruise control in your car. When you're driving long distance, it makes your life so much easier, but you're still in control.
Mhm.
And if you look at it that way, there's a lot of opportunity.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, because I've a number of
Yeah,
really high level AI guys. I mean,
sure.
creators,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, of stuff. And we're like two little geeks. I'm like, oh, do we do this and this? And it's like, and they're like getting all keyed up, because there's just endless possibility.
Yeah,
One guy, he explained it really well. He goes, well, when we had the steam engine, we took the steam and we turned it into power.
yeah,
Now we're taking this and we're turning it into intelligence.
yeah,
And I went, wow, like that's really profound.
yeah.
We're taking this tool and we're turning it into no one's turned something into intelligence.
No,
This is really, I mean, just think about it. Let that marinate on that for a minute and just
yeah,
go, dang, that's a big deal. If you
it
could
is.
just, I mean,
It
you
is.
can't even begin to think out how far this can go,
Hmm.
but man, you need to get into it now.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think AI with leadership development really could change the narrative,
Mhm.
because there's almost this expectation with leadership development that it's only for executives and it's really expensive.
Right.
How do we help more people? And I think that's where analytics and AI could really come in, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we're working with clients to do transformations and really help them to elevate their businesses. Um, but the AI could really help to augment all of that and help us in a lot of ways.
Well, I think, Chris, because it's leverage,
Yeah,
you can train more leaders.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's exponential
Hmm.
leverage.
Hmm.
That's what it's talking about because there's such a lack. You can't go one at a time.
No,
You can't train two, three people at a time.
no.
It's like I'm getting groups of 10
Yeah,
in the room. And
exactly.
like, we're doing 10 and role playing, doing like, give me another 10, not
Yeah,
two, not one
yeah,
on one.
yeah,
Like you can't, and the results are so dramatic, like
yeah,
next day application,
yeah,
like they're winning. the
Yeah.
next day. Can't
Yeah.
wait for the next one to get it. It's like, this is
Yeah.
why didn't they ever show us this? I'm like, well, okay, we know why, right? 'Cause
And no,
someone likes to fight fires. That's why, but we don't.
that's funny. No, but you're right. It's look, I can do a workshop with 20 people, but we can have AI on-demand courses that are helping hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Yep. And
And
because I tell people, Chris, like, well, think about this. It's like a business, like a lead. You get a lead. Before you talk to lead, you like them to be warmed up,
mhm,
know who you are, know what they're
yeah,
doing, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah. We get around, I like to have them a hot lead where
yeah,
I show up, verify, and pick up a check, right?
right, right.
Close the deal. Same thing in this. You can preload them
Yeah,
with this, and this, then come in, we do the fun stuff.
yeah,
The
that's
role
true.
play, we interact, we do the live stuff. They take what
Yep.
they've been preloaded. We don't have to spend a day doing that.
Yeah.
They come preloaded. You can check that work, right? You
Hmm.
see they've done, then put them in the room and let's go. And
Yeah.
now they can practically, it's amazing. Like you couldn't do that
No,
without AI,
no,
I mean,
no.
it's so powerful. And you
Yeah.
can help AI can create checks and balances. It
Yeah.
can verify, it can do this stuff as they're going through it.
Hmm.
Make sure they know it's solid and you come in and that hands-on,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
boom, it's through the roof. It's amazing. I'm telling you, it's exciting.
Yeah. No, and it's funny you should say that because the way that we're setting up our tool is you work on one thing for 3 months and AI will actually determine when you're done.
Yeah.
And it's a dialogue, it's a discussion. It'll say, okay, no, no, Richard, you're done. You're good with this now. We can move on to the next one.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, have technology work for us.
Yeah. And it'll always do it with a smile on its face.
Yeah.
It'll never
Yeah.
have a bad day when it's judging you.
No.
So it's like,
It's
but
true. It's
it's
true.
awesome. I mean, interaction with clients, it's always nice.
Yeah.
It has all the answers,
Yeah.
and can give it to
Yeah.
them. It's fat. What we're doing with it now. I mean, I don't even like talking about it too much
Yeah.
because it's like my advantage. Clients, what I'm doing, I'm like, no, we're going to get way ahead first. Then I'll unveil everything, But
Yeah.
I leak some stuff out, but it's just right to the leadership aspect. Like this is the weak link,
It is.
as
It is.
and it's like, so here we are solving problems. What's the best way, the fastest way, and to reach the most? How do we do that? We have all the tools now.
Yep.
We just have to apply them properly, and we'll get amazing results. And that's a serious advantage for companies,
I,
especially small
I,
business.
yeah, I think so too, because we need to raise our expectations about leadership development. You've probably seen this too, where the response to a challenge will be, well, everybody's going to sit through an hour training, or everybody's going to go through a day of training. You don't retain anything from that. And a
No.
lot of times you come out of it with no clear action plans.
Yep.
The expectation should be there should always be an action plan. There's always clear what you're working on. And people should have data and analytics to see where they are and how they're improving or not.
Yeah, I left. I kind of was still trying to do some live in-person seminars, do 2 days, and I'm like, I really built it like this is going to be amazing,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
would have if anyone came. Okay, but then you realize, wait a minute, no one's going to take like me their frontline guys off the floor for 2 days
Yeah.
to come
Yeah.
sit in a room and role play like that. That's not happening. So
Nope.
we shifted. We do like 2 hour live stream sessions.
Yeah.
We do it from work, end of the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
right? We do a couple of those, week off, homework, get that,
Yep.
come back,
Yep.
do more.
Yep.
They're certified.
Yeah.
They're certified in 2 hour chunks
That's
that are
very much.
live, interactive, and everything else.
Yeah.
And like then
Yeah.
another day in between, and you do the whole thing. It's like, I'm like, okay, that's a problem solving, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to disrupt the floor. I'm not going to do this. But
No.
we're going to get them skilled up quickly, and we have validation to that, right?
Yep.
Verification, all that stuff's really cool. I'm like, what a great place to start, and that's because we have the tools now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I
Yeah.
just love it. I just love it. Just sometimes I am a Marine, so I'm a little thick, so it takes me a little while to get a hold of that. But man, I was looking forward to those in-person seminars, and then it's just me and the crickets. That's all we had, and I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, I think I made a mistake. But man, you could pivot really fast.
You could.
and fix it. And it's cool. So
Yeah,
there's so many
absolutely.
ways to do this stuff. And I love having you on just to talk about this so people can, I really want people to hear potential,
Yeah.
right? Understand
Yeah.
like it's not an uphill battle.
Mm-mm.
You are loaded, and I'll use my warrior thing. We are just loaded with the proper ammo and gear
Yeah.
to make all of this happen very, very quickly with
Yep.
incredible results.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just guys like you are out there. You're writing books on this stuff. You're creating programs. I'm doing the same thing. It's like this is what it's about. But we understand we
Yeah.
have the leverage. We have the firepower now to go do
Absolutely.
this on a much larger scale, and that's really encouraging.
It is. It is. And and if people are a little nervous with AI, that like one of the things we've done with our on-demand courses is they're only an hour at a time. And then we give them an exercise to work on for a week. And then they come back and do another hour. So easy to manage. And then they come away with a tangible action plan. And then we do a one-on-one with them at the end.
Yeah.
So there's other ways. If people are a little nervous with AI, that's okay. There's other options for people to still get skilled up and we understand that people are busy.
I mean, again, back to the advantage.
Yeah.
You're not booking time
Mm-mm.
with a human being.
Mm-mm.
You're doing it at 11 at night. I don't care when you do it.
Yeah,
You know,
whenever.
like I would take my business and I go, have you ever like monitored when calls come in for your estimates or whatever they want? It's like 1 a.m. They're calling for a roof on their house. It ain't raining. Like what people will call at the oddest times,
Yeah.
right? And what I tell them, like, so we need these AI agents to be answering those calls with full details and ability to set appointments because they're never more interested than the moment they're calling. We figured this out with one company. We're missing 60% of the phone calls from a live
Yeah.
answer,
Yeah.
right? Determined that was to this company $80,000 a month they were not getting.
Oh, geez.
Like, okay, can we do it now? Can
Yeah.
we get the agent? I'm like, that's a lot of money
That's a lot of money.
because you're not answering the phone.
Yeah. That's a
And
lot.
it could be an emergency situation or whatever. Trees on, like, you just look at that, like, this is really important to understand. And I
Yeah.
get there's call services and there are
Oh,
people
yeah. Yeah.
answering.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's all good. It's not as good as an AI
Yeah.
agent
Hmm.
because an AI agent can take 100 calls at the same time.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
It can go through every question. You can load it, you can overcome every objection. It can complete the sale.
Yeah.
It can do all of this at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
A smile on his face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, I'm telling you, like, people got to wrap their head around this stuff and
Yeah.
like go watch it in action, and
Yeah.
it gets better by the day, literally.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's so much, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's such an advantage. I can't express it enough, but
Yeah. And there's just so much potential too. It's fantastic.
yeah, it's going to be cool to watch. It's going to
Yeah.
be amazing. So let's put a lid on this. Let's kind of wrap
Yep.
this up here. Give us some final thoughts on leadership in general. What do you got for us?
Yeah. I think we need to really challenge the historical narrative around leadership, in terms of the classical definition of a tough leader. Really, how do we replace that with inspirational leadership that is really inspiring people to be better, to do more and become more? And that's what we're working on within Luma, and that's what we have in our book, Lead Without Limits. But ultimately, as we talked about, the generations are changing as well. And people are going to need to change to stop using the old school approaches if they're going to want to be competitive to acquire or retain talent. I mean, that's just fundamentally the way it's going to go.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Yeah, and that talent acquisition, every business struggles with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had the I've had the fortune to have some incredible people on my podcast with solutions to that kind of stuff. They're just
Mm.
the episodes aren't out yet. They're
Yeah.
queued
Yeah.
up. But I have people I'm like, man, see, they're quite the genius out there,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
solving these kind of problems, doing stuff that people have not thought,
Yeah.
and competing on a really high level. I mean, I love it. I
Yeah.
just love to see that. I love people come on and sharing like you, because this is what matters. Anyone who's
Yeah.
listening to my podcast, I feel
Yeah.
They're innovators. They're looking to improve their business. They're
Yep.
obviously not looking to just a status quo, because then they wouldn't be listening to podcasts.
Yeah, exactly.
They're listening to the radio, the FM radio in their car,
Yeah.
which is the most horrible thing in the world. My wife will put that on, like, really, the radio? The radio, they're talking about nothing, or they're talking about a commercial. I lose my mind, Chris. I'm just like, this. Do you realize? And I get into all the. Do you realize the median income for a radio listener is $37,000 a year? Okay, like, that's not. You know what the average income for a podcast listener is? It's 240,000. Family thing. Like, there's a difference here. Like, we need to. I'm not throwing her under the bus.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
Yes.
it's, maybe she doesn't want to listen to what I listen to. I don't know, but
Who knows? Who knows?
you know what I mean? It's just that it's this ability to learn. So again, the people who are here are really looking to, like, how do we build a better business that's scalable,
Correct.
right? To do our thing and everything else and lead properly, because people aren't going away. Okay.
No.
You
No.
need, that's real talent, and there's interaction, everything else. And we have to blend these two. And once you embrace it, like anything, you can use anything for good or evil.
Yeah.
Let's choose
Absolutely.
good. Let's maximize it. Let's learn everything we can about it to battle the evil. Okay, let's go out there and do the good stuff, right? Let's do that. That's what I try to encourage people with. You got to think about it that way. I'm a little bit on the warrior side, but, like, I need the right tools.
Yeah, you're battling complacency.
That's it. Ooh,
and mediocrity.
Ooh,
Yeah.
mediocrity.
Oh,
Swear word.
yeah.
Swear word.
It's scary stuff.
I tell people, just remember, to reach average, all you have to do is wake up in the morning, and you're there. Okay, so we got to live a little bigger than that.
Yeah.
All right, now, I want everyone to wake up in the morning, but we got to go further.
Yeah,
further.
absolutely.
But yeah, this has been awesome, Chris. Thanks for the time today.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate all the insight and everything else. And for everyone else, we'll see you on the next STS podcast. Thanks for tuning in to Sharpen the Spear podcast. If today's episode helped you think sharper, act smarter, or see new profit potential, do me a favor. Share it with a fellow home service owner and leave a quick review. Ready to find the profit hiding in your business? Head to sharpenthespearcoaching.com and book your free profit discovery call today. And until next time, keep sharpening.